Hey y'all, welcome back to the Banganator podcast, brought to you by your host, Esley Banga. Episode 10, week 10. I'm back from my week-long hiatus. I had to take a week off. A lot of things just happening in life, really busy. Sorry I couldn't get this video to y'all earlier during the week. A lot of things going on, it was really busy, so sorry, but I'm here now. And I'm reacting to the Cowboys losing to the Packers. We lost 31-28. I was watching the game with some good friends of mine. We were watching the game together for a bachelor party, part of a bachelor party. And we were so disappointed. We got off to a good start. Got off to such a good start. Ended up going up 28-14. But I don't know why the Cowboys couldn't close the deal. I saw a stat that the Cowboys are 195-0 before Sunday, whenever leading by 14 points in the fourth quarter. Now they're 195-1. Come on, y'all. We do that in the playoffs. We allow that many rushing yards in the playoffs. We give up leads like that in the playoffs. We out. We out of the playoffs. So before I get any further, let me say thank you to my subscribers and viewers. Keep liking and subscribing to push it up the algorithm and so I can keep bringing y'all content every week. So let's get into the nitty and gritty. Dak Prescott had 27 completions out of 46 attempts, 265 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's not a bad stat line, but he did have 2 interceptions. And on one of those interceptions, CeeDee Lamb ran the wrong route, or he ran a route incorrectly. Whenever he was supposed to come across the safety's face, but instead he didn't run across the safety's face. Safety picked up on that, stepped in front of CeeDee Lamb, interception. The other interception was to Dalton Schultz, targeting Dalton Schultz, but it was an interception. That was on Dak. I think I remember seeing that interception was on Dak. Yeah, Tony Pollard, 115 yards, 1 touchdown. He was doing his thing, getting fantasy football points for me. So can't complain about him because Ezekiel Elliott was out, so they gave him the targets. Again, I reiterate, you got to look at giving Tony Pollard more targets this season, and then next season, you got to think about making Tony Pollard the number 1 back. Just saying. CeeDee Lamb, 11 receptions, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. He went off. He was the biggest producer for me in fantasy football this week. Dalton Schultz, I made sure I started him. I was just waiting for Dalton Schultz to get healthy again, but he showed up big time. 54 yards, 1 touchdown. When it comes to the defensive side of the ball, we did recover 2 fumbles, but I was so disappointed in the fact that the Cowboys gave up 207 rushing yards. Y'all know the saying, defense wins championships. Well, yeah, that type of defense, that's not going to win championships. Yeah, I know you can't have great stats and hella interceptions and sacks every single week, but giving up 207 rushing yards, that ain't going to do it. That ain't going to do it, especially when we get into December and then the playoffs. So, no, that cannot happen. That's disappointing. And I think we're the 29th ranked rush defense in the league. So, Cowboys, y'all got to fix that. We play the 7-1 Vikings next. And I'm not going to lie, they're looking pretty scary. They're coming off an exciting game against the Buffalo Bills in what probably is going to be the game of the year this year in the NFL. And they came from behind. Not going to lie, that is a little telling about the Vikings. The past few games, they've been coming from behind to win, and it can bite them in the butt. Maybe against the Cowboys, because we've seen that the Cowboys can score. But I'm kind of scared of this team now. Swaggy ass Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook better not run all over us like A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones did last week with the Packers, or else we're going to lose for sure. I think this game could go either way. I feel like we match up well just as equally. It can go either way. So I don't even know who to pick. I don't know who to pick. But obviously, I'm rooting for the Cowboys. I'm a Cowboys fan. Of course, I'm going to root for the Cowboys. But y'all better step up to the plate. Don't turn the ball over too many times. And don't allow that many rushing yards, or else Dalvin Cook is going to burn you. Now, it's time for my top 4 favorite things from Week 10 in the NFL in football terms. So on first down, my first favorite thing from Week 10 in the NFL is CD Lamb. CD Lamb, number 88, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, like I mentioned earlier, on 11 receptions. He went off. He got me 38 points on fantasy football. He's the one who led the way for me in fantasy football this week. Keep doing your thing, CD. On second down, my second favorite thing from Week 10 in the NFL is Tua Tagovailoa. Once again, Tua time. He had 285 yards, 3 touchdowns. And he helped me a lot in fantasy, giving me 23 points. I had to start him because Joe Burrow was off bye week. So, Tua Tagovailoa, keep doing your thing. And so far, fun fact, they've won every game that he started and that he's finished. So the times where he was injured or he was out, they haven't won. So Tua Tagovailoa, I ain't got nothing more to say. Just nothing but positivity towards you. On third down, my third favorite thing from Week 10 in the NFL, and this is going to hurt to say because it was against my Dallas Cowboys, is Christian Watson getting 3 touchdowns on us. 3 touchdowns. I was sick, especially after he dropped the first target to him in the first quarter. I'm telling you, I was sick. He had 107 yards off of 4 receptions, 3 touchdowns. 4 receptions, and 3 of them were touchdowns. But I got to give this man his flowers. So he deserves it. So, and I love a good competitor, somebody that can show out like that. So, Christian Watson, you're my third favorite thing about Week 10. And my fourth favorite thing from Week 10 in the NFL is Jeff Saturday getting his first win as the Colts head coach. That guy was thrown into the fire. Just last week or a week and a half ago, he was working as an analyst on First Take. And now he accepts the job to be the interim head coach because he played for him for almost a decade and a half. He did an amazing job. Then again, the Raiders are the Raiders. They've been horrible this season. But he's just gotten so much flack for how he received the job. Obviously, so many people that have put in work on the Colts coaching staff. And then, Jeff Saturday, he just comes off the analyst seat and comes in and coaches, bypassing so many people that have rose up the ranks like coordinators and position coaches. But that's not on him. He just accepted a job that was offered to him. So I have nothing bad to say about Jeff Saturday. He's an amazing guy from what I've heard and good coach. He has the respect in the Colts locker room. All right, now to talk about the Texas Longhorns. I really don't want to talk about them. I really don't. 17-10. We lost 17-10 against still undefeated TCU. And the score makes it look close. It wasn't close. The whole entire game, it was basically a defensive game. And we could only score 3 points until the fourth quarter. I'm telling you, I'm pissed right now. Quinn Ewers, let's see how many, what his stats looking like. 17-39, that's under 50%. 17 completions and 39 attempts. 170 yards, no touchdowns. Bijan Robinson, 29 yards on 12 carries. Come on now. Like, damn, I know TCU's undefeated, but damn. Jordan Whittington, 78 yards. Jatavian Sanders, 61 yards. Xavier Worthy, 32 yards. No touchdowns. What happened to Bijan Robinson looking like a Heisman candidate? What happened to Quinn Ewers throwing for all these touchdowns? But damn, I guess I really did underestimate TCU. I really thought that we could maybe do something. But hey, TCU is undefeated for a reason. Their defense is stellar. Our defense held it down as much as we could. But we couldn't do nothing on offense. Offense couldn't reward them with a lot of touchdowns. You stop them that many times, offense, you're supposed to score. Come on now. Xavier Worthy with I don't know how many drops. Out of character. Luckily, I was enjoying my birthday dinner, so I didn't have to deal with watching the whole entire game because that was some BS. And to be honest, I think that Texas is one of those schools that they live off of their name for so many years, just like the Dallas Cowboys. Vince Young ain't here. Colt McCoy ain't here to lead us to championships or championship appearances. Come on, Texas. So Quinn Ewers, Arch Manning is gonna come next year. He was actually at the stadium on Saturday. And we put on that kind of show for him. Hopefully he don't decommit. But hey, Quinn Ewers, you got to get better. Otherwise, your job definitely going to be taken. Ain't going to be no competition by Arch Manning next season. Come on, do better. They play the Kansas Jayhawks next. Kansas started out 5-0, but then they started losing. So now they have the same record as us, 6-4. So I think it's going to be a toss-up. It's going to be, I don't know who's going to win because Texas, they lose against teams that they maybe should win. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't think that they're going to have a repeat performance of last time against TCU, but they'll definitely be better. And it's going to be a close game. Good news, y'all. I'm 5-5 in fantasy football. For the first time this season, I am 500. I'm even in my record. I waxed my opponent 152 to 113. It was crazy because I was behind by 30 points in the morning in the early games, and by the time the second slate of games ended, I was winning. And it wasn't even close. Like I had mentioned earlier, Tua Tagovailoa got me 23 points. CD Lamb got me 38 points. He was my biggest playmaker. Jalen Waddle, 18 points. Josh Jacobs, 22 points. Tony Pollard, 21. They both did well. Obviously, I didn't start Joe Mixon because the Bengals had their bye week this week, or last week. Dalton Schultz, 17 points. Devontae Smith, 13 points. And Devontae Smith's points, it didn't even matter because he played on Monday night. I had the game wrapped up by Sunday. So it didn't even matter what he did. Brett Maher, 4 points. Kansas City defense, 6 points. So glad to be 5-5. And what I'm most excited about is our fantasy football playoffs is going to have 6 teams in it. 6 teams in the main bracket. So, and I'm in 5th place right now. So I'm right there in the playoff hunt. After starting 0-3, I never gave up. And that's what it's about. That's what life is about. Don't give up. So I'm so excited going forward. It's looking I'm favored in my matchup this upcoming week. So I'm looking to go 6-5 and move up in my rankings. Thank y'all so much for watching and tuning in to the Banganator podcast. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Keep liking and subscribing so I can keep bringing y'all content. And I just got one more thing to add. You see me repping my Salute to Service hoodie. That's part of the NFL's Salute to Service campaign that honors and helps veterans and service men and women this month. So I'd like to say a personal thank you to all servicemen and women in the U.S. military across all branches. Thank you so much for keeping our country safe, and thank you for helping us enjoy our freedom in the U.S. With that, let's beat the Vikings on Sunday. How about them Cowboys? See y'all next week.
The Banganator podcast is brought to you by Esley Banga, diehard fan of the Dallas Cowboys since 1997. How about them Cowboys?